In today's video, we're going to be playing Calibrated Blast, which is a burn spell that can deal 15 damage to the opponent. And if you look at Calibrated Blast, it says reveal cards from the top of your library to reveal a non-land card. Calibrated Blast deals damage equal to that card's mana value to any target, which means that when we reveal a 15 drop, we get to deal 15 damage to the opponent. The way we do this is by playing a deck with very few spells in it. As you can see, we are playing 38 lands and only 22 spells, and 16 of them are 12 CMC or higher. While this card is strong, the deck needs to find this card. We will almost never keep a hand that doesn't either have Throes of Chaos, which can cascade into the blast, or a blast itself. While you might think mulliganing is a big deal for this deck, it only really needs this one card to win the game. This is because Calibrated Blast also has flashback for 5 mana, meaning that you can just win the game with one spell. And while you might think this is an inconsistent deck, we are going to be winning more than 80% of our games, so we're going to be taking this crazy card and deck through a League of Modern to see why this is the new burn deck. Match 1, we're on the draw, and we have a Gemstone Cavern and a Blast. Pre-game action, we'll put in Gemstone Caverns and exile our Worm. Opponent goes turn 1 Tarn. We draw an Emrakul, we'll go Foothills, pass. Opponent plays so Foothills and passes. We draw another Blast return, we'll play Tarn and hold up Blast. Opponent shocks in a Sacred Foundry and plays a Fable. In response, we'll fetch a Mountain and Calibrate Blast, revealing a Throes of Chaos, and we'll deal 4 to the opponent. They're down to 12 and Fable resolves. We untap, we'll just cast another Blast and hopefully kill him. And we reveal a Scion, which is exactly 12. Let's go! Easy game, easy life. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're gonna take out 5 lands for Boseiju, who shelters Resolves, Otawara, and a Boseiju. Game 2, we got a Muller, and our 6 has a Blast, so we keep putting back a Boseiju. Pre-game actions, we'll put in a Gemstone Cavern, exile and a Boseiju. Opponent goes turn 1 Mesa. We top deck a Throws, probably one of our best draws in the deck. Opponent plays a Tarn, passing. We draw a Ramanop, we'll play that, holding up our Calibrated Blast. Opponent untaps, cast a Rensick, picks up on a Scalding Tarn. They fetch a Mountain with Scalding Tarn, then play Strike It Rich. And on the end step, we'll Calibrate Blast, revealing an Onocrom Worm, dealing 15 to the opponent. We draw a Shadow for turn. We'll shock in Stomping Ground and cast our Throes of Chaos, which cascades into a Blast, and we'll deal another 15 to the opponent. Quick win, let's get into match 2. Match 2, we're on the draw, we got a Mold down to 6, and our 6 is perfect, and we'll bottom the Worm. And pre-game actions, we'll put in a Gemstone Cavern, exiling the Sunscorched Desert. Opponent goes turn 1 Foothills. We draw Emrakul, we'll play Boseiju, passing. Opponent plays a Scalding Tarn, passing back. We draw another Blast, so we play Desert, holding it up. Opponent plays a Foothill, passing. On their end step, we cast a Blast. We reveal a Shadow of Mortality, dealing 15 to the opponent. We untap, drawing a land, and then we'll cast another Calibrated Blast, revealing another Shadow, dealing another 15. This is so easy. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 5 lands, put in Otawara, Boseiju who endures, and Boseiju who shelters. Game 2, our 7's too bad, so we got them all. And our 6 has a Blast and a Gemstone we're keeping. And we'll put back a Mesa. For game actions, we'll put in the Gemstone Cavern, exile a Scavenger Grounds. Opponent plays a Foothills, and we draw an Emrakul. We'll play a Tarn, passing. Opponent plays a Foothills and passes. In our upkeep, they ice down our Gemstone Caverns. We draw a Worm, we'll play a Triumph for turn. Opponent plays down an island into a Shardless Agent, cascading into a Crashing Footfalls. And we top deck a Boseiju, we'll play that, holding up a Blast. Opponent plays an island into a Blood Moon, and attacks in for 10, we're down to 9. And on the end step, we'll blast the opponent, revealing another Blast, only dealing 3. We draw Sokensan for turn, we'll play Ruins, and flashback or Blast. And we hit an Emrakul! Let's go! Match 3, here we come. Match 3, we've got another Gemstone Cavern start, so we gotta keep. 3 games actions, we put it in, exile a Worm. Opponent goes turn 1 Force into a Hierarch. We top deck another Blast, we'll play a Desert and deal 1 to the opponent. Opponent plays a Mire into a Wall of Roots, then cast out a String of Rootgeist, attacking us for 3, we're down to 17. We draw a Mountain for turn, we'll play that, holding up a Blast. Opponent makes a green off Wall of Roots, playing out a Young Wolf, then cast an Eldritch Evolution, sacking a Geist. In response, we'll blast the opponent, revealing a Worm and dealing 14 to the opponent, and they grab a Yawgmoth off the Eldritch Evolution, then attack us for 4. We draw a Shadow for turn, we'll play a Mesa and cast another Blast. And this one hits an Emrakul. That's so hard. And in response, they activate Yawgmoth. An opponent ends up activating until they're dead. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 1 Mountain, bring in an Otawara. Game 2, our hand doesn't have a Blast, we got a Mole. Our 6 has a Blast, so we got to keep. Bring back Emrakul. Opponent goes turn 1 Marsh into a Hierarch. We draw an Otawara, we'll play Tarn, passing back. Opponent plays a Forest into a Wall of Roots, then plays out another Hierarch, attacking in for 2. We draw a Gemstone Cavern for turn, we'll play a Tap Blood Crypt, passing. Opponent plays a Verdant into a Yawgmoth, then attacks us for 2. We're down to 15. We draw a Desert for turn, we'll play that out and hold it up Blast. And on the end step, they fetch out a Dried Arbor. Opponent plays a Young Wolf, then activates Yawgmoth, sacking the Wolf. In response, we'll Calibrate Blast, revealing a Worm and dealing 15 to the opponent. That resolves, and the Young Wolf and Yawgmoth triggers resolve. Opponent plays a tapped Overgrown Tomb and attacks in for 4, and we're down to 11. Draw a Sokensan for turn, we'll play a Caverns, hold up Sokensan and Otawara. We'll go straight to combat and attacks us for 4, and we'll Otawara their Yawgmoth. And post-combat, they replay the Yawgmoth. We draw another Desert, we'll play Mesa and fetch now, then flashback our Calibrated Blast, revealing a Worm, and we'll deal 15 to the opponent. And in response, they start activating Yawgmoth. An opponent has nothing. Quick as 3-0 of my life. Match 4, we're on the play, and hand looks great. We'll lead on turn 1 Mesa. When it goes turn 1 Strand, we draw Scavenger Grounds, we'll play a Foothills, bet Shock and a Blood Crypt, and cast out our Scion. And on our end step, they evoke out a Solitude, killing our Scion. When it plays a Tarn and passes, we draw Soken'Zon, we'll play a Mesa, passing back. When it plays an Island and passes back, we draw a Tarn for turn, we'll play Scavenger Grounds into a Throes of Chaos, and we cascade into our Blast. An opponent counterspells our Blast. Our biggest weakness, no! When it untaps and slams it to Fairy, ticks up and then plays a Hallowed Fountain. We draw a Blast for turn, we'll fetch out a Mountain and flash back a Blast, revealing a Draco and dealing 12 to the opponent. When it plays a Plains into a Narset, down ticking, finding a counterspell, then ticks up to Fairy. We draw a Ramanop Ruins for turn, we'll play that for turn, then activate Soken'Zon, making 2 1/1s, and they have a Dress Down, removing the haste from them. When it plays out a Colonnade and ticks up to Fairy, and in our draw step, they Daze Undoing us. We'll attack the opponent down to 4, and on our end step, they Dress Down. When it down ticks to Fairy, killing one of our spirits and drawing a card. They down tick Narset, revealing a Daze Undoing. Then they Otawara, bouncing our spirit, and cast a Daze Undoing. In response, we'll activate Ramanop Ruins, attacking our Scavenger Grounds and dealing 2 to the opponent. And we draw a Scion. We draw a Wood Foothills for turn, and then we'll activate Ramanop Ruins again. And we beat the Teferi and Narset lock. Let's go. On to sideboarding. For sideboarding, we're going to take out these 4 lands for Otawara and Boseju's. Game 2, our 7's 2 weeks, we got them all. Our 6 has nothing but lands, so we're going down to 5. Our 5 does nothing, so we're down to 4. And our 4 is much stronger. We'll put back 2 Scions and an Emrakul. We draw a Scion for turn, we'll lead on Mesa. When it plays a Tarn and passes, we draw a Gemstone for turn, we'll play Boseiju, passing back. When it plays a Gaia Reach into a Narset, getting a Force of Negation. We draw a Scion for turn, we'll play a Cavern, hold up Calibrated Blast. When it casts a Spreading Seas on our Boseiju, so we'll float a mana in response. They down tick with Narset and reveal a counterspell. And now we'll Calibrated Blast them, revealing a Scion, dealing 12 to the opponent. We draw a Desert for turn, we'll play that out, and kill the Narset. And on our end step, they cast a Dress Down, then evoke out a Solitude. They shock in the Steam Vents, then cast a Timely Reinforcement, going back up to 10. And we draw an Emrakul for turn. When it plays an Island and attacks into a Solitude, gaining 3, going up to 13. Then they play out a Teferi. And on their end step, we Otawara their Spreading Seas, because if we don't draw them out in this turn, we can't win. We draw Throes of Chaos off the top. Sadly, not going to do it. So we're going to scoop it up and get on to game 3. Game 3, our 7's too weak, and our 6 is much stronger. We'll put back a Scion. We'll lead on a Scalding Tarn. When it goes turn 1 Triumph, we draw a Stomping Ground for turn. We'll fetch out a Blood Crypt and play a Scion. When it plays out a Hull into a Spreading Seas, and we draw Ramanop Ruins for turn, we'll attack in for 4, stock in a Stomping Ground, and then buy a Karuga. When it plays out a Plains into a Teferi, bouncing our Scion to hand. We draw Scavenger Grounds, we'll play a Ramanop Ruins, then activate Soken'Zon, and we'll attack Teferi with both of our 1/1s, and Teferi goes down. When it plays a Gaia Reach Sanitarium, we top deck a Blast, we'll attack the opponent for 2, and they have a Shark Typhoon, making a 2/2, killing one of our spirit tokens. We'll play Scavenger Grounds and pass back. When it plays a Mystic Gate, and on their end step, we'll Blast, and they force Negation our Calibrated Blast. We draw a Boseiju for turn, we'll cast our Throws, cascade into a Blast, cast it out, and in response, they Dress Down. And we end up revealing an Emrakul and killing the opponent. Let's go! Beating probably the hardest matchup. Let's get into match number 5. Match 5, our 7's quite strong. It leads on turn 1 Blood Crypt into a Ragavan. We draw a Ruins, and we'll play out a Tarn. They attack in for 2, triggering Ragavan, and they exile an Emrakul, then plays a Mountain into a Thoughtseize, and they take our Blast. We top deck a Shadow for turn, we'll shock in a Blood Crypt, and then cast our Scion. It'll go straight to combat, attacking in, and we will block. Then they bolt our Scion, and cast another Ragavan. We draw a Sun-Scorched Desert, we play that, and ping the opponent down to 15. When it attacks with Ragavan, exile an Onocron Worm, then cast a Dothi for turn. We'll play a Mountain into a Throes of Chaos, getting a Calibrated Blast, and it reveals a Worm, dealing 15 to the opponent. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out all these lands for Otawara, Nephilia Academy, and Deserts. Game 2, our 7's a little weak, but I'm going to keep it. When it goes turn 1 Swamp into an Evoked Fury, making a turn 1 8/8. We draw Desert, we'll play a Tap Crypt. They play Marsh Flats and attack us down to 12. We'll play a Tap Crypt after drawing a Worm and pass back. They play a Tap Blood Crypt and attack and Frayed. We're down to 4. We draw Boseiju, and we can't win here. Let's get into game 3. Game 3, our starter's a little slow, but we'll keep as well. We'll lead on turn 1 Nephilia Academy. When it goes turn 1 Blackleaf Cliffs into a Ragavan. We draw Gemstone Caverns, we'll play Desert and pass. When it plays out a Dothi, then passes back. We draw a Scion for turn. We'll play an Arid Mesa, passing back. When it attacks us for 3, then they play a Thoughtseize, and then they play out a Torok. Play Gemstone Caverns for turn, fetch out a Mountain, and pass back to the opponent. When it casts a Collector Brutality, taking our Throws, we'll put that back on top. We're down to 8, we draw another Throws. At this point, we are just dead, but we will blast the opponent before we lose, dealing 12 damage to them. And they do have lethal on board, so sadly, we're ending 4-1. So we ended up 4-1 with this deck. Absolute blast. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.